What happens when we become emotional? First thing happens, you are automatically disconnected from Gaia. You get disconnected from that fluorescent tube of light. So imagine yourself as a battery, and as soon as you become emotional, it deviates you from the higher self connection. The higher self can only sustain itself in a peaceful state of consciousness. So what happens is that energy retrieves itself and waits till the vibration of this personality, of this vessel, raises back up. And how do we raise that energy back up? You went through emotional turmoil. We go back into number one is the breath. And then from the breath, we start to bring the earth energy up through the first center. We activate our coccyx, right? The hips and the hip bones. The hips and the hip bones are in control of your immune system. So as soon as you become emotional, your thymus is no longer distributing etheric energy through the body. So right away, we must start bringing energy through the root center, into the hip bones. And you have to activate the coccyx, which is the spiral of where Kundalini enters. So once you start bringing energy in and then distribute it into the hips, you have to see your hips activated with energy. So you'll go back with your awareness into the earth, bring that energy back up. You're not thinking of what happened in the event, because a lot of times the mind will say, but this happened, I was right, or this could have been this way, they should have just said this, or could have this happened. All of this could have, should have to go to the side, and right away you have to go back into the process of the energy flow. So you start to raise energy into the hips. Even right now you're sitting. If you feel your hips, smile to each hip, feel them activate. Even touching with your hands the hips in the front, you're connecting with that part of yourself. That is where your white and red blood cells start to produce, right? As soon as they start producing there, your energy starts to build up in the body. So we start even to rock side to side, we start to move. Why? Because we're bringing that energy up. From there, that energy needs to go into your kidneys. So now you're going to raise that energy into the kidneys, fill them up with light, and again you go back down into the earth and start bringing energy up until the kidneys filled up with light. Then you're going to bring it up through the whole system into the thymus gland. And once the energy reach the upper heart, the inner child's heart, the emotional heart, then it will get distributed through the body, and then you can raise it up into your mind. Okay? Why this process? Because the energy gets disconnected from the grounding cord. If there is no grounding cord, you're going to get electrocuted. Right? So same thing here, we need to have a grounding cord. So that means you have disconnected from the Divine Mother. You're not being nurtured by her energy because you're throwing a tantrum of the personality's perception of what you think it should be. But the universe doesn't care about that. It understands its own natural flow. So we have to come back into that space and restore our energy field. So you're restoring the physical body. Now you're going to come back into the cerebellum and activate the veins and the arteries that go up into the back of the head. So blood needs to start rushing up and replenish the cells that you burned within yourself through the stressful environment. The more you practice this and you bring this energy up, the more naturally it will do this. And the more naturally you will become more at a peaceful state. So therefore you're opening up the crown to receive the higher energies. So that is the part of restoring your immune system. Because the immune system is part of the emotional state. So the thymus gland distributes all the energy, all the blood throughout the body. So we need to raise this energy up into the thymus gland. And in order to do that, we have to activate each chakra system again, and then run your kundalini up. So if you're doing your breath work on daily basis and in your practices, you should be able to raise it up. I feel that's one of the most important things, because you will have your roller coaster days. You will have your good days and where you're like, okay, I feel great, I don't need to do it. No, that's the day you need to sit with yourself when you feel great and amazing, because that is the trick of the ego that is deviating you away. It says, oh, you can relax. No, actually sit down that day more, because now you're actually passing a threshold where you're going to go into the next level of energy.